This content is being produced by the podcast Bourbon Real Talk. The usual show format is to do a live review of a whiskey with a guest who tells their personal story. The purpose is to expose the world to the lives of people they may not have otherwise come in contact with. The goal is to reduce division and form new connections. Occasionally, we produce content that is meant to be educational like this program. For more information about Bourbon Real Talk, you can go to our website at bourbonrealtalk.com, where you can sign up for our email list, or we can be found on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play, and iTunes by searching Bourbon Real Talk. Enjoy.
Hey there, Bourbon Real Talk family, or whatever club that you're viewing this in. I have a very special bourbon corn for you today. This is Balcones High Plains, Texas single malt. Now, I don't know if you heard the story on this. If you have not had a chance, you need to go over to Whiskey Neat Podcast. That's Christopher Hart. He did a podcast the other day with, it was actually with Robert Licorice from Iron Root and Jared Hempstead from Balcones. And in that podcast, they talked about this whiskey. So they've been trying to make this whiskey for 4 years. And the reason why this whiskey is interesting is most Balcones single malts are made from barley that was malted in Scotland. Now, they want to be a grain of glass whiskey where they're getting grains from Texas and making whiskey out of the Texas grains. But up until they worked out all of the finer details, there was no way to get a malted barley that was grown in Texas. They kept having some weather events that were causing the crops to fail. There were some other problems. But after 4 years, they were able to get enough grain and malt it in Texas for them to make this whiskey. So this is, to my understanding, and I don't think I'm wrong on this, the first single malted barley whiskey that was 100% Texas made in human history. That's kind of awesome. So we're gonna open this bad boy up and see what it tastes like. So if you've been watching any of my Bourbon Real Talk podcast or anything like that, you probably, and my glass was dirty, so this is just a little rinse-a-roo. You probably have seen that I have been trying to spread the word about these Texas distilleries that are spending a lot of time, energy, and effort to figure out how to make world-class whiskey here in Texas with our climate, with the grain that we have available. And Jared is on the forefront of that. I love everybody over there at Balcones. Thomas Moat has been amazing. Alex Alrod has been amazing. Love everybody over there. So for their single malt products, they have a special fermenter that they actually got from, I think, Scotland. They have a special, what's it called? They grind the grain with. They have something that they do it different for their malted product than they do for like their corn-based products, right? I mean, these people are committed to the true way that you're supposed to do single malt. And the people that started this distillery had a strong affection for Scotch. So they're trying to stay true to the Scotch way of making whiskey, and they have done that. So on this, is this a single barrel product, do you know?
No.
I don't know if this is, this is probably blended. They used 3 different barrels. For their malted or single malt product, they use American oak, which is high vanilla flavor. They use French oak, which adds a little bit of a bitterness and a tannic flavor. And they use Hungarian, which is kind of a combination of the two, plus some cinnamon. And so I'm getting the cinnamon coming through on the nose. I mean, I'm getting a lot of spiciness on this. But I'm not getting something that's like significantly different from the other product, which is probably good, right? It's not like, I mean, I guess if the Texas one was completely different, I'm getting some, chocolatey notes, some cinnamon notes, maple syrup. Sometimes when I'm tasting bourbon, I don't say vanilla or caramel. when you're tasting Balcones single malt, you don't need to say maple syrup, right? Like that's the base level flavor. So of course, maple syrup, cinnamon, chocolate. Yes, that's beautiful. So tons of, well, exactly what it smells like. So maple syrup for days, chocolate for days, a raisiny flavor, like a dried fruit, like dried dark fruit, maybe like a fig or a raisin, but lots of cinnamon, lots of spice. This whiskey is beautiful, and if you have the opportunity to pick one up, I strongly suggest you do so. As always, everybody here at Bourbon Real Talk loves you. And if you have any questions, throw them down in the comments. Talk to you soon.